All right, let's talk about the space a little bit. So I talked about the stage, and this down here is your timeline. And you can see it's got layers, just like Photoshop does. And over here are some properties that you can adjust. But we're not really going to need to mess with those. So let's see. Well, let me push these smaller. Doesn't appear to be cooperating. All right, whatever. All right, so the main thing I'm worried about, what's going on here and what's going on here. I guess I can click that. Okay, so that I can click that arrow to minimize it or to expand it. I don't really need to do anything with that at the moment, but I can resize this if I need to. All right, so the timeline has been created. It's a 3-second animation, so it's almost 4 seconds of animation. So you can see it goes almost all the way out here to the 4-second mark. From here, you don't want to be drawing on the same layer that your. Let me put this back to where the dog's in the scene. All right, you don't want to be drawing on the same layer that the video is on. Furthermore, you also want that layer to have a little bit of transparency to it. So if I click on that and I go to properties, I can reduce the opacity on it. So I right clicked on that layer and I go to visibility and I can click on opacity and let's drop that to 50%. So that's going to make it more see-through because I want to be able to see the lines more than the video. The video, it's going to be a reference. Okay, the video is all going to go away. All I'm going to put in is my lines. All right, so let's go ahead and lock this layer at this point. So to lock it, you'll see the lock right there. I can click right there on the lock and now this layer is locked. I can't do anything with it other than play it. And I'm going to hit the plus sign to make a new layer. Now, for simplicity, I'm going to go ahead and click in that layer so it's all highlighted blue. You can see as I drag through, it's all highlighted blue. If it doesn't seem to want to do that for you, you can click away from it and then click on it out here somewhere and it will probably do it. And then I'm going to pull this drop down and I want to, whoops, undo that. Command Z. I'm going to click and hold on this and I want blank keyframes. Oh, why isn't it? All right, let's try it this way. No. All right, well that did it, but that's not ideal. All right, so on here, here's what I did there. So to do this on an Apple, what you're going to do is you can click onto that space, and then over on the right-hand side is a key called FN. It's to the right of the main keyboard. It's FN. That unlocks all your function keys. Press that, and then press the F7 key on the top, and that will create keyframes all the way through. And that's what you want. You want these blank keyframes. They've got it's gray with a hollow circle. As soon as you draw something in that space, let me just demonstrate really quickly here. As soon as you draw something in that space, you'll see it becomes light gray with a black dot. All right. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is let's zoom in closer. Okay, so I'm going to 100% here, and I will probably take my brush down smaller so I can go over here to properties. Right now my brush size is set to 3. No, you know what? I like the 3 for the brush size, so I'll go ahead and use that, and I'm going to outline my lines. Okay, so remember with the work of Julian Opie, there is not a lot of detail to it. The focus is on, you know what? Yeah, check your smoothing here. You can turn smoothing up. It could cause a little bit of delay while you're drawing, but it can make your line work neater. But the focus is on the main lines and getting it proportionally accurate. So as long as I'm doing that, we are good. All right, so there we go. Let's get her tail. And I've got frame 1. Do I want the toy? I don't know if I want the toy or not. So then I'll just drag this over to frame 2. There's nothing drawn on frame 2. That's why I made sure that I put keyframes all the way through. It will help make it so that it doesn't, so that I just have to go to a new frame each time and draw in the next frame. Now, definitely do not try getting into detail. Get the base drawings in first. Then you can start thinking about color. You can start thinking about any additional details you'd want to put in here. There's all sorts of options later, but the most important thing is that initial walk and getting it looking the way that you want it to. Make sure you don't leave out any body parts, okay, that you're double checking before you move on. She literally pulled out all these toys. There's actually, this video is one clip of her pulling out one toy, and she proceeded to pull out like 3 more. So let's go ahead and let's start with the tail that time. I'm going to turn this smoothing up a little bit. Probably a bad time to do it when I've just gone and done 2 frames already. And that is the basis of rotoscoping. Okay, so you just go through and continue to outline your drawing or outline your video. Okay, and I will just keep on working with that. All right, so that gets you covered. And if I go back through here, okay, you can see, I mean, you don't see much right here. If I hit play, but tell you what, I'll pause and get a few more frames in. All right, so I did get very many more frames in when I realized Julian Opie tends to work much more simplified. I was already trying to put more detail in there with the curve of the feet. A lot of his work, his characters have flat feet. There's that disconnect where there's not even a neck in there. So rather than draw the collar in, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to give it a round shape for the head and drop the ears in there. And that will still get a gist of a dog. Okay, so tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and leave the video at that. Go ahead and start working on yours, and good luck. Go team.